Good evening, my dear ones. This is Gadon, your doorkeeper. I come to you this evening with great joy, for I bring a special guest, a very high being that is consented to come and speak with you and be in your vibrations this evening. I would greet you and tell you that I am always here at your meetings. I am here to keep the door and to hold the door for those of the higher realms of love and light. As you come to the circle of light on Wednesday nights, think of bringing your loving, positive, constructive thoughts only. And before you enter the door, turn loose of all the day's activity, turn loose of the physical world, and think of this as a sanctuary, this room, for it is indeed a place where we meet those from on high. Very high beings have come to be with you on these nights. Think of them in this way. I will now step aside. This one does not wish to give a name, but he is a very high being from far, far distance. God bless you, my dear ones. As we come together, let me reach out and touch your vibrations. Open your hearts and your minds that you may receive the most from this communication, and let us bring down to your language the most that we can from this time that we have together. I would ask you a question or two. How much do you know about yourself? Are you aware of the many, many dimensions of your being? Are you aware of the high vibrations that dwells within you, the places of beautiful, beautiful formless being, places of light, light so bright that it would blind your physical eyes? My dear ones, within each of you are these beautiful dimensions. And you have to turn loose of the concept of time and space to understand this, for they are not up in the sky. They are within you. They are everywhere present. This evening I would talk to you about your intimate contacts with your Creator. There can be nothing more intimate than the moments that you have with your Father in heaven. And when you take the time to set aside, to go within, to make this contact, to still the little self, to turn off your physical world, and go within to these beautiful places that I've mentioned, for they do dwell within you. And when you know this, you can learn to love yourself so much more. For you see, my dear ones, you are an outward manifestation of the Father, the Creator of all being. As you move inward and higher in vibration, think of the beauty that is far, far beyond any conception that you could have on the physical plane. Think of the vibrations that sing a beautiful song, the celestial music that dwells within you. Think for a moment of the Father and the stillness that you can move into and yet feel His presence and know that His love is being poured out to you and that you are sharing this intimate time with the Creator of your being, of all life. When you come to this time of knowing these intimate times, these quiet times, these times of such beauty and joy and rapture, then you see it sustains you when you go through your physical plane and your physical life. When you take the time to go within and build up these vibrations of beauty and joy within you, then when you come to a rough time on the road of your physical plane, you can draw upon the strength and the power and the beauty and the joy that you have shared with Him. He is in your outer plane also. It is difficult sometimes to see Him in the marketplace or the place where you work, but He is there also. And as you become more acquainted with His vibrations, with His beauty and His love for you, you will be able to see Him everywhere. It is much easier when you go to the mountains, maybe to be aware of His presence, to feel the clearness of the air and the puffy white clouds that you can almost touch, and you feel His presence as the wind sings a song through the pines, and the brook bubbling over the rocks sings its laughter on its way to the sea. All these things are there within you when you take the time to know yourself, to know your Creator. For in true reality, my dear ones, you are one. You are one and the same. When you take the time, as your David did, as he tended his sheep, to get acquainted with the Heavenly Father, to sing songs to Him, to lift your thoughts of joy and praise and gratitude, you reach Him so much easier. He is always there, my dear ones, for He is the life force that you are. He is only a thought away, and so are we and your teachers and guides. I come to you from a very far place where the vibrations are much different than yours on your plane, and there are several of your teachers and higher beings that work with you, that have helped me to make the link and the contact with you, for I am not used to these lower vibrations, and so they are holding hands and letting me make the circuit like you would a telephone wire, perhaps. And it is good of them to allow me to come and visit you, to come and share the beauty and the joy, and to try to bring it into your language, to try to make you understand how wonderful it is to have this intimate contact with the God within you, this intimate contact, my dear ones, with yourself, for truly you and the Father are one. And as you learn to realize this and come to this greater understanding, then you know much more about yourself. If you can bridge the gap between your misunderstanding and use faith and accept your oneness with the Father and assume the role, as your teacher has told you, of being one with God, and play this game with yourself until you feel it, until you know it, until it becomes natural for you. When it becomes natural for you, then you see it is much easier for us and for the Father to help you over the rough places that you may have to travel on your physical plane. As you go through your physical realm and you stumble on the rocks of your karma, that you call it, and you may fall down and need to get up. When you have had this intimate time with the God of your being, then it is easy for you to not be concerned about what happens on your physical plane, and if tragedy or whatever it is called comes about, you know that there is a meaning behind it. There is a reason and a purpose in all things, and you understand. Through understanding, my dear ones, that your teacher has tried to help you to realize is the greatest thing for your foundation, for you to stand upon. Through the understanding of yourself and of life and of God, you can rise above anything. And my dear ones, when it becomes a pattern for you, or becomes natural, as I said, then you do not even see the rough places. You do not even see the stumbling stones, for you are above them. How wonderful it would be if you could start your day out with a song in your heart of praises to God and to beauty and to joy and all the wonderful things that you have to be grateful for, and to let His being shine through you so bright that nothing of darkness could come near you. Would this not be a beautiful experience to make it such a habit to start your day with the understanding of His presence, the feeling of His presence, the knowing of His love that flows through you, and the beauty that He shines forth through your countenance? I tell you, my dear ones, it is possible for you to do this on your physical road to the kingdom of God. For you see, just as the brook running from the mountain tops is on its way to the sea, so are you on your way to the fullness of God and back home into His heart. The water that runs through the brooks may take many years as it flows and then ascends to the clouds and then descends again into the rain to run again in the brooks on its way to the sea. But it does make its way, and you, my dear ones, will find your way, and it will be so much easier and so much beautiful for you to know yourself better, to understand the true reality of your being, to turn aside from the illusions that the physical plane has put into your mind about trouble and problems and duality thoughts. Turn them aside and let God and His beauty and the joy of being and the one life be in your mind and in your thoughts, in your countenance. As you learn to do this, as you learn to lift yourself and your thoughts above this physical plane, then you are on your way to the sea. You are on your way to the heart of God. My dear ones, you are already in the heart of God, but in your understanding, you are not there yet. And through your practice of the presence of God within you and all around you, then you can find your way, and you can have the understanding of His presence in all its glory while you are still in the physical body. You do not have to wait till your next incarnation or whenever you overcome this thing or that thing. My dear ones, all you need to do is turn your back on your karma and turn your face to God. All you need to do is turn away from the so-called trouble and problems of the physical plane and turn to the truth that you know deep, deep within you, and let it shine forth from your countenance. Let it be the thing that goes ahead of you, a spearhead that goes ahead of you of light that shines brightly, spreading the way of the darkness, that it does not come near you. A spearhead of light. Light is a symbol of understanding. And when you understand who you truly are, when you know and have that moment, intimate moments with God through your day, then you shall be His shining example. For my dear ones, this is your purpose in life, is to manifest His beauty and His joy and His glory, even while you're in the physical plane. You see, the Father God is everywhere present in all the universe. He is formless, but He is all-powerful and all-wise, and He created you and I in His image to manifest different through each one of you, because you are each different, to manifest in your own individual way, and for Him to love you. For He does love you with a love so great and so powerful and so beautiful that you could not even begin to stand the vibrations of His love while you're in the physical. It is so great and so beautiful that it would do damage to your emotional bodies. But you can build toward that time when you can understand and move into a greater acceptance of His love, and let the vibrations of your being and your consciousness rise to the level of His love. I speak to you of this evening, and I find it difficult to bring it into your language. There is so much that I would share with you, and I would ask you to set aside times to go within and not even think in words, but feel and be the beauty and the joy and the grandeur that God is. Let yourself reach into the light that is so bright that nothing of darkness can come near it. Let yourself practice this until you are able to know that you and God are one. There is no division, there is no separation from you, between you, or between any of you, because you are all one. While you are encased in your physical body, there appears to be separation between you. But my dear ones, there is not. For truly there is only one life in all of creation, and this one life we call God, and this one life and all of us are one. One in consciousness, one in life, and we can learn to be with God, one in thought. As you move into the inner part of yourself, when you set aside the time to be with Him in the stillness, say something like, Father, I come to you in all humility, setting aside the little self, setting aside the world thoughts. Help me to be as you would have me be. Help me to be to others as you would be to them. Father God, I would be one with you, even in thought. Hold me close to your breast, and let me feel the warmth of your love. Let me know your presence within me, and let me remember as I go through the day, in every part of the day, that you are always with me. As you say something like this in your thoughts, and change it whenever you feel like it, then there will come a time when you will not need words, but you will know. You will know through feeling, through an awareness of His presence, of the life that you are. I tell you, my dear ones, there is nothing more important than how you are with God. Give it some of your day to go aside and become aware of your true identity. You are playing the role of human, and you are going through your roles, and this is what you plan to do, and this is fine. But the purpose in all of this is to come to the place where you remember and know who you truly are, and can still play your role, but be above it in consciousness and make it light and easy. This is what your master teacher meant when he said, my yoke is light. Whenever you go through your physical play on this stage, relative to your higher consciousness, it is very heavy and drudgery to some of you when you think of it as such. But when you make this contact with the true being of your inner self, then your yoke becomes light, and your burdens fall away, for they are no longer burdens, but because you turn them into laughter and joy, and you turn them into a song of praise and thanksgiving that flows forth from your heart, just as the brook runs over the rocks and sings its laughter on its way to the sea. Know that you are on your way to coming home to the fullness and the oneness of your being that is truly God the Creator. I have attempted to share some of the things with you in your language that I am not too familiar with. When I came to your circle a few weeks ago to touch in, I was invited and asked. It was difficult for me, for on the realms where I dwell, there is no conflict or any, what shall I say, any negative vibrations of any kind. And I felt that it would be good for me to know you more intimately, to feel your vibrations, and to understand your burdens as you think of them, and to help bring a little light and beauty that is so familiar to me and to those on the realms that I dwell on, and to try to explain to you how easy it is for you to let go of the darkness, to lay down your burdens and be at peace, no matter what happens around you. It is just illusion, as you have been told. Do not get caught up in it, but see through it and see the reality of God in everything and every place that you go, and know that whatever happens is just lessons that are being learned on the physical plane. Whatever you witness, even if you're not involved, you are involved when you witness it, to see how you react, to test yourself, and see if you can immediately know the truth and rise above what appears to be happening on this play that you call Earth. It is a beautiful time to be with you, and as I am speaking, I can see that our vibrations are coming closer together, that you are more relaxed to hear these words and to think in larger terms. Do not limit yourself, my dear ones. Allow yourself to reach the highest that you can, and then stretch a little bit more and know that God's power is there to help you to move even higher. Be not content with the lower dimensions, but know that many, many mansions are waiting for you, mansions of consciousness that are so beautiful and so wonderful. But you first have to turn loose and let go and give up these lower dimensions and the things that have bound you to them. I tell you, my dear ones, it is not complicated. It is not difficult for you to do this, although to you it seems to, because you are personally involved. You are entangled with your thoughts about who you are and what you're doing, and your loved ones around you. But you need not be. All you need do is relax and be at peace and love God and all His creations, including yourself, and let this love continue to flow through you. Let His love flow through you in such abundance that it paves the way for every step that you take and makes your load lighter and your path brighter. And it makes it easy for you to love even those that you might think of as your enemy, for those who want to do you harm, as you might think. When you can love them with God's love, nothing can harm you in any way. I would pause for this moment and give you the opportunity to make comments or ask questions, if you will. I feel that this is the way that you conduct your meetings.
If I have a question,
Yes.
if we were to the point that we could raise our understanding and turn our back toward from the karma and face the Father, then wouldn't we be ready for graduation? Or would we have anything else on this planet Earth to experience?
Not necessarily. It all depends upon your desires and upon your... you see, when you're talking to me at this moment, you are speaking from the physical level. Let us think about this from a much higher level. Let us look at this situation from a higher dimension. And there may be many opportunities that you can help others, that you can be a channel for God's love to flow through on this planet, that you can help usher in your new age with much greater ease. There are many, many things that you can do, and when you do release all of your karma, as you think of it, then you can do as you will. You can graduate from this plane and lay down this physical shell and be free of it. Or, you see, when you do not have this ball and chain that you carry around, this heavy burden of karma, then the physical is not heavy for you, is not a burden, but it is a joy. And the light and the beauty that shines forth from you opens your path and makes everything brighter. There are many, many options, and each individual has his own concept of what they would do when they finish their karma, as you call it, on this plane. Does this help your understanding?
Yes, thank you very much.
Yes. We are all different, and we all have different lessons to learn. When you finish your lessons on this dimension, then there are other lessons on higher dimensions. And so, let's see, someone is telling me there is something that could be correlated to this. When you go to college on your realm and you stay for a while, you call it a certain thing, and I cannot quite pick this up. You stay in the same, after you graduate and get your degree, you stay and work longer for something else that gives you greater understanding. And maybe you experiment and go into different ways, even while you are still in the same place. I apologize for my lack of your understanding of your language and ability to work through this channel, to bring it through. But there are many, many options, many that are here for you on this physical plane, but also there are many options when you can bring down the light and the love from these higher dimensions into your physical plane, into your consciousness. It gives you the freedom to be as you want to be. Are there other questions this evening?
I have one.
Yes.
How does one go about finding out what their purpose in this life on earth is?
Yes. I am told that your teacher that I speak through has a standard answer for this. And you may be new in this, with this teacher. And the answer is whatever you find in front of you. You see, your purpose in any incarnation or at any time is right in front of you. Sometimes you are so close to yourself that you cannot see the forest for the trees. And I am being coached on how to say these things, for I am not familiar with these things, but I do understand them. And when you are so close to yourself, you sometimes do not see the hang-ups or habit patterns that others are able to see. And so whenever you move in to a greater understanding of yourself by taking some structured classes or by meditating or reading books along these lines and bringing forth the understanding, then it is easier for you to see yourself as you truly are, to see where you are in your soul's growth. And I tell you, my dear one, that whatever you find that is in your life that disturbs you in the least, this is what you have come to do. This is what you have come to work out. And some of you may be going through a time where you do not have any disturbances. But I tell you, if you ask, then the disturbances will come, and they are really not negative or destructive. They need not be, when you can be grateful for them and think of them as opportunities. Yes, you are thinking of a talent or something, a work that you can do, are you not? And whenever you prepare yourself for God's work in His vineyard, then the way will be open and it will be in front of you. When you are ready in your consciousness, on this plane, you talk about cleaning house or getting rid of the garbage in your mind, the habit patterns of thinking that are destructive. And when you do this to a degree that opens the way, then other doors are open to you that give promise to greater things, greater learning, greater understanding. It is as you have been told, and you may be tired of hearing this, I am told, but you have to learn to add and subtract before you can divide and multiply. And so many on this plane are impatient to get on with their growth, for they feel the pull of the ocean calling to them as the brook runs over the mountain streams, and they yearn to be there. But you must take the step in front of you. You must learn patience. You must learn to go in and be quiet and listen and ask yourself, the God within you, to give you the directions. This is the best way than receiving it from anything outside yourself. But there are many guidelines that can help you. There are many things that you can do to open the doors to greater understanding so that you can see these things within yourself that need to be eliminated and replaced with the love of God and His light of understanding. Does this help you?
Yeah.
God bless you. I feel that it does not clear this up for you as yet, but try to think of what has been said and try to be patient with yourself, but do take action to find out more about yourself by allowing yourself to be involved in things that will stimulate your understanding, that will bring about a greater light within you. God bless you. Are there other questions this evening? You are so very precious to us on these higher dimensions. You know not how greatly that we love you, and we could not express it in your language. We yearn to help you and to lift you up, but we cannot, because the Father has given you the freedom of choice. We do not interfere with this freedom of choice. But when you do take the time to go within and learn to listen and learn to tune in to that inner part of yourself where, let us say, someone is telling me that all the telephone lines run to the higher dimensions. There is a place, a switchboard, as it was called at one time, that you can dial your phone from within and reach us and reach the God within you to get all the answers to all of your questions, to understand how to move higher in consciousness. But I will say this to you, my dear ones. You must take the time to set aside to go within, and you must be diligent and persistent with your practice of the presence of God everywhere you go, not just when you sit down to meditate, but everywhere you go. In everything that you do, look for His presence, for He is there. He is within your neighbor, your fellow worker, your mate, your children. He is everywhere present. Know this within yourself, and He will talk to you even through these. He will talk to you through children. He will speak to you through the blades of grass and the leaves on the trees and the sun that shines upon you. He will even speak to you in the clouds and the thunder and the lightning, for He is everywhere present. And if you can learn to be attuned to His thoughts in your own special way, you will be in contact with Him at all times. Are there questions that you would ask? As the sun rises on your planet each morning to bring you a new day of experiences, look forward to the day. Always look forward and be grateful for the opportunities ahead for you. take a shiny, bright attitude of gratitude and move into your day with the consciousness of his presence, even though you have not reached the place where you are consciously aware of him at all times. Do as your teacher has told you. Assume the role and know that he is there. And soon you will be aware. You will be conscious of him speaking to you in many, many different ways. As we join hands, let us invite our friend from a far away and all of his friends from his dimension to join us, and all those everywhere that join our circle of love and light. And let us feel the presence of God within ourselves and within each other. Let us know that his life is everywhere present. And let us feel his love flowing through us, going around this circle, building up in momentum, filling this room, spreading out over the city, covering this planet, and going out to the whole universe. Let us see his love going ahead of us into this week, reminding us of each moment that we are his children, that he is our Father, and that his love for us is everywhere, ever present, in every moment. Thank you, Father. Yeah. I can use it. Okay.
That's all. People interested in should everything. I mean, a saying that we run out. Like about 3. Good.
Last night that was me reminding you. I touched back in and thought it had been so long. Tonight it didn't seem long at all.
Yeah, that's the way it just didn't seem long for me. I haven't done it my own. You're late.
Someone asked me the other day, what's Wednesday night channeling going to be? And I said, I don't know. Because I don't know, but maybe a couple hours before time. It was about 2 hours before our time to meet that this entity came and touched in with me. And get on came with him. I guess you could say introduced him, but brought, and so he communicated with me a little bit of what he was going to try to say tonight.
Two vibrations were very, very high. You've got thoughts up here.
Go after just I could feel the difference. It took a while to adjust. I could feel the difference. Redford's heard about it. It happened here at his.
Well, when back in Oklahoma, there were times when these higher beings would come and Ella would bring them and introduce them, not by name or anything, but say that they came from outer stellar space or somewhere, and they would. It was usually a short message they took, but it was very high, beautiful. Someone asked for a name one time, and the entity said, well, we couldn't bring our name down into your language. And Alva once told us that your name is the peg you hang your personality on. It's interesting. So we've had many names before, and many different personalities too, I guess. I didn't get my commercials in tonight, did I? We have a self-hypnosis class this Saturday, I'm sure that most of you are aware of, and starts at 9 a.m. And also remember the mountain retreat for those who want to go. Still a few openings.
What clackers can I?
Hmm?
Or clacker?
Yeah, everybody's subdued. Well, shall we call it a class then?